good morning, hello everyone. And once again, I'm by the fire because baby, it's cold. So this is my favorite place in the house, by the fire, with a cup of tea, my knitting, my crochet. So it's a very busy corner for me. I do exercise here as well. So today, I might be a little bit hot with this. I might have to take it out at some point because it's nice and hot here. So I hope everyone is doing well. So it is still snowing here in the south of England, by the sea in Kent, and it is cold. So my lovelies, I've got news at the very end. If I remember, if I don't forget, I'll need to share some news with you, all right? So you are going to lie on the back and we're going to work on the feet, okay? So we're going to do movements with the feet. Again, try not to strain yourself and look at the camera. Just do what you understand. Don't worry too much about are you doing right, are you doing wrong. Just feel the movement and just do what you think is right for you, okay? It's not difficult to follow just by listening to what I am saying, okay? So we're going to do movements with the feet, one foot at a time, and we're going to tilt and make movements with the ankle, the feet, all right? So if you are sitting already, I want you to start standing. I'm not going to stand myself because I'll be out of the camera and I need to adjust the camera. I don't want to do that, okay? So stand up for a moment, just for a moment. And while you stand, just spread your feet hip distance apart, whatever it's comfortable for you. Just don't have your feet together. It's important that you do this without socks, okay? If you need to have socks for whatever reason, it's okay, but make sure you have your dad's socks that are large and not there to squeeze your toes, because then this exercise in particular, it won't be good for you to have squeezed toes, okay? So either have no socks or get socks that are large so that your toes are able to float inside, to swim inside the socks, okay? So no tight socks, all right? So stand up, have a sense for your upright, close your eyes and have a sense for your upright. Oh, I forgot to say something. This exercise, you can do it sitting on a chair if you prefer, okay? The difference between doing it on the back, on the floor, and the chair is that if you do it on the back, on the floor, you don't have to worry about gravity, okay? The floor, the ground, the soil, the Mother Nature is supporting you, okay? If you sit on a chair, then you need to work with gravity. You need to stand upright, you need to sit upright with the torso upright, feeling your sitting bones, and do the exercises with the feet. It's okay if you prefer to do it on a chair, but just make sure you're sitting upright, that you don't start collapsing or leaning back on the chair, okay? So that's why most of the exercises, Feldenkrais exercise we do on the floor is all about, mostly about gravity, just to let go the body, and then we can move the body more comfortably without worrying about holding up ourselves against gravity. All right, sorry, I should have said that at the very beginning. But as I said, it's okay. Sit on a chair if for whatever reason you need to sit on a chair, sit on a chair, okay? Just make sure you are upright. The torso is upright. And everything else is the same, okay? Right, so if you're standing, just close your eyes, feel your uprightness, feel how, just notice how it feels to stand today. Does it feel tall? Does it feel the chest feels open, or you feel more what's the word? Collapsed? Maybe because it's cold. Where I am, of course. I don't know where you are in the world. Please do let me know below where you are in the world. So notice how your uprightness feels today. Maybe it feels more collapsed, maybe it feels open, maybe it feels you feel tall, maybe you feel short. Just have a sense. No judgment, judgment. Just get to know yourself. And remember, this is your me time. There is no judgment. There is no criticism. There is only your body and your breath. That's all it matters for this time together here. Nothing else. Okay? Okay, breathe in and out. Have a sense of your uprightness. And then bring your attention to your feet. Where's the weight of your body on your feet? Is it more on one foot than the other? Maybe is it more towards the front of the feet? Maybe more towards the back of the feet? Maybe more towards the inside of the feet? Maybe more towards the outside of the feet? Maybe it's different from foot to foot. Just notice that. Alright? And then walk around a little bit and just notice how that movement feels. The movement of walking feels in your hip joints. How does the feet receive the floor? Do you feel your toes when you walk in contact, touching the floor? Or do your toes hover at the floor? Alright, okay, so now come and either sit on a chair or come and lie on the back, on your back on the floor. Make sure you are comfortable, and you start by just lengthen your legs for a moment if you can. If you can't, just keep the feet up. Feet on the floor, knees up. Whew. And just take a moment to arrive in your mat, in your space, in your blanket, wherever you have underneath your body. Bring your arms either side of your body and just take a moment to feel yourself against the floor. Notice how it feels to lie on your back today. Notice your lower back. Gently roll your head from side to side very slowly, and notice how that movement is in your neck. Is it smooth? Is it sticky? Which side turns better? Relax your jaw, relax the facial muscles. Feel, sense, be present. Alright, and then bring your feet on the floor, knees up. Now if you prefer, you can have your hands rest on your belly, or just leave them either side of the body, wherever. Or maybe you change as you go through the movement. Sometimes it gets too tired, not tired, but whatever the word is, to have the arms always in the same position. You can move the arms, you can rest the hands on your belly, if that, just to change the position of the arms. Now, your feet and your knees are hip distance apart. Okay. And for a moment, just bring your attention to your feet and notice how they are touching the floor. Can you feel your toes in contact with the floor? Can you feel every single toe in contact with the floor? Which toes are not touching the floor? And which feet feels more in contact with the floor? What's the difference between one foot and the other? Maybe one feels more grounded. Lift the toes of both of your feet and bring it down. And just have a sense for your feet in contact with the floor. Okay, then keep your feet fixed where they are. Bring your right knee a little bit more towards the right, so open the right knee away from the other knee, just a tiny bit, and notice that movement in your hip joint. And do that a few times. Keep the feet grounded. Keep the right foot on the floor. Okay, so it's only a tiny movement. If you move your knee too much, then the foot will start lifting, and you don't want that. Just feel that movement. So go with the right knee, go away from the other knee and come towards the other knee. So go back and forth towards the left knee and away from the left knee. And feel that movement in your hip joint. Notice how that movement is. Small movement. Okay, and then do the other side, the left knee. Left knee away from the right knee and then towards the right knee. Back from side to side, not back and forth. I mean side to side. Move the knee away and move the knee closer to the right knee. So now we are moving the left knee away from the right knee and towards the right knee. And again, just feel that movement in your hip joint, the left hip joint. And compare to the other side, is this one smoother or stickier? Feel, sense. Feeling is healing. Alright, and then let that go. Okay, bring your attention, just keep a mental memory of this movement in your hip joints. And now bring your attention to your right foot. If there is something going on with your right foot, the ankle or anywhere in the foot, then start with the left, okay? So if you have an old injury or something going on in your right foot, then start with the left. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you start with a healthier one, okay? But remember that I'm going to use my right foot, so the instructions will always be on the right foot, okay? So we're going to be on the right foot for a little while, okay? All right. Now, lift the right heel only, just an inch or so from the floor, and move, pivot to the right and bring it back. Okay, so you're lifting the knee and pivot to the right. Keep the front, glue the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, and the toes, glue it on the floor. You're just moving the heel, so it can't be a big movement. Okay, so it's only a small movement. Move the heel to the right and back to the center. To the right and back to the center. And do that a few times. Carry on doing that. Move the heel to the right, allow the heel to land on the floor when it's on the right, and then you slide it back to the center. Okay, you don't need to lift too much. If you can slide, then slide the heel instead of lifting too much. Okay, if whatever is underneath your foot is sticky, then you need to lift a little bit. If it is something that you can slide the heel, then slide the heel. Okay, so you slide your heel to the right. Make sure you allow the heel to land on the right and then back to the center. It lands again. Okay, and just notice how that movement feels in your ankle. So the knee should not be moving, just the heel sliding to the right a tiny little bit and then back to the center. Okay, let that go. Now go to the left. Now slide the heel to the left and back to the center. Same movement, but now to the opposite direction. Remember that the front of your foot is glued on the floor. You're not lifting the toes, you are not lifting the ball of the foot. You're just sliding the heel to the left now. Allow the heel to land down each time it's on the side and each time comes to the center. Breathe in and out. Okay, let that go. Now do the same with the front of the foot. Okay, glue the heel. This time you glue the heel on the floor and move the front of the foot, the ball of the foot and the toes to the right. So you're pivoting on your heel so that you can slide the front of the right foot to the right and then back to the center. Same similar movement as before, but now we do it with the front of the foot. The ball and the toes need to lift a little bit, or if you can, just slide. And the heel stays in place. You pivot on your heel. And the front of the foot goes to the right. Make sure you land the toes and you land the ball of the foot when you move to the right, and then when you come back to the front. Lift and land. See if you can touch all the toes on the floor as you land the toes. Breathe in and out. Again, the knee is quiet. The knee doesn't swing in any way because the work is in your ankle. Okay, let go. Now go to the opposite side. Now move the front of the foot to the left and back to the center. And that movement should feel different in your ankle. Just notice if it does feel different. Remember to land the toes. When you move to the side and when you come back to the center. The heel is fixed. Okay, and let go. Adjust your feet, make sure that your feet and your knees are hip distance apart, more or less, okay? Okay, now we are still on the right foot. Now lift the right heel away from the floor, keep the front of the foot in contact with the floor and bring the heel down. So lift the heel and bring it down slowly with control. The front of the foot stays on the ground. The toes and the ball. You're just lifting the heel and it's only a small movement, a small lift. So lift the heel and bring it down. Lift the heel and bring it down. The right heel. Breathe in and out. Lift the heel as high as it goes without moving the front of the foot, without lifting the front of the foot, the ball and the toes. Lift slowly, bring it down with control. Feel the movement in your feet, the ankle, the front of the foot. Okay, let go. And now lift the front of the foot. We're still on the right foot. Lift the toes first and then the ball of the foot. Keep the heel nicely grounded. Then bring down the ball of the foot, then the toes. So lift the toes first, then the ball of the foot. Then land the ball of the foot and then the toes. Lift the toes, lift the ball of the foot, land the ball of the foot and land the toes and carry on this way. Breathe in and out. Differentiate the movement of the toes from the ball of the foot. So first lift the toes, then lift the ball. And then you ground, you land the ball and then you land the toes. And as you land the toes, see if you can feel all the toes in contact with the floor. Or make an effort so that all the toes touch the floor. And again, feel that movement in your ankle. Spread your toes. Hopefully your toes are free to move. They're not inside tight socks. Okay, let go. Now do one side at a time. Lift the heel, bring it down, and then lift the toes and lift the ball. Bring the ball of the foot down and the toes, and then lift the heel. So back and forth, front of the foot and heel. So do one at a time. So it's just repeating what you did before. Toes, ball, ball, toes, heel. Heel down. Toes, ball, ball, toes, heel. Heel down. And so on. Lift the front and the back of the foot one at a time. Make sure that you lift first the toes, then the ball of the foot, then you land the ball, and then you land the toes. Breathe in and out. All right, let go. Okay, so now we're going to do something else. It's a little bit tricky with the movement we're going to do with the ankle. But remember that the knee is quiet, okay? So tilt your foot to the outer edge of the right foot. So we are still on the right foot. Tilt the foot. You want a movement in the ankle. You don't want any movement in your knee, okay? The knee is nice and quiet, facing the ceiling. Tilt the foot to the outer edge of your foot, so that you lift the inner edge of the foot. So you lift the arch and the big toe from the floor, okay? And then bring it down and do that a few times. Tilt the foot onto the outer edge of your right foot and lift the arch and the big toe. It's not an easy movement to do, because what the tendency here is just to move the knee away from the other knee to open the knees. You don't do that. Your knee is quiet. The movement is only in the ankle joint. Not easy. So as you tilt, you should feel the arch of your foot. All right, let go. Now tilt the other direction. So now you're going to tilt towards the arch, and you're going to lift as much as you can the little side of the toe and the outer edge of your foot. It's not easy, and make sure you're not moving the knee. It's not easy. Just do what you can. It's only a small movement. Concentrate your powers, your energy in your ankle joint, and see if you can lift the outer edge of your foot without swinging the knee. Because if you do it with the knee, then the movement is in the hip joint and no longer in your ankle joint. It's not easy. If you get cramps, then extend the leg and extend the heel away. Push the heel away and let the cramp go. Not easy at all. Okay, let go, and now do one and the other. So tilt to the outer edge of your foot, and then tilt to the inner edge of the foot, as if you're rocking a boat. Notice which side is easier to tilt. For me, it's easier to tilt to the outer side than to the inner side. Remember that you're not swinging your knee. The movement is in your ankle joint, not in a hip joint. Not easy. Lift the toe side, lift the little toe side, lift the big toe side, and then lift the little toe side. Keep that knee as quiet as you can. Not easy at all to do this movement in the ankle joint. Okay, and then let go. Oh, it's hard work, isn't it? Lengthen the legs and just take a moment to rest and just feel yourself. Feel your leg, feel your foot. Feel the whole of that side you've been working on. So if you've been working with the right foot, just feel the whole of that side in your body. If you've been working with the left, then feel the left. And notice the differences between one side and the other. Which leg feels longer? Which side of the body feels more grounded? And now turn the head slowly from side to side and just notice if one side turns better than the other. Notice if that side that turns better is that side you've been working on the foot. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So bring the knees up, feet grounded, and feet and knees hip distance apart. Okay, if you are sitting on a chair, it's easier to do this. If you are sitting on a chair, just stand up and go for a little walk and just a few steps and just notice the differences between one side of the body and the other. Notice the contact of the foot against the floor. Just do that if you are sitting on the chair, which is easier to stand up than if you are lying on the floor. You'll notice a big difference between your right side and the left side. And don't forget to share that with me below in the comments area later on. Alright, so let's now do the left side of the foot. So we started by lifting the heel. So let's lift the left. Now we are on the left side, on the left foot, okay? So lift the left knee, lift it to and pivot to the left and bring it back. So we're doing the same thing as we did on the other side. Ground, glue the front of the foot, just pivot, just move the pivot on the front of the foot and move the heel to the left and back to the center, to where you started. Same thing as before. I'm going to take my blanket, it feels a little slippery. Okay, don't lift the foot, the heel too much. If you can slide and bring it back. So you don't need to lift a big deal. So lifting the heel to the left and back to where you started. Breathe in and out. Okay, let that go. And now move to the right. So lift the heel or slide the heel to the right and back to the center. Keep the front of the foot grounded. Slowly and gently. Today's class is going to be a little bit longer. Breathe in and out. Remember to land the heel each time. So don't keep it in the air. Start noticing the difference between this foot and the other, the movement in your ankle joint. Alright, let go. Okay, let's do the front of the foot now. So you're going to ground the heel and you're going to lift the front of the foot, the toes and the ball of the foot, and you're going to move to the left and back to the center. So you're pivoting on your heel now. So move the front of the foot to the left and back to the center. And land the foot each time you come to the side and each time you come to the center. Only lift a tiny little bit. If you can, just slide the foot. So we slide in the front of the foot to the left and back to the center where you started. Keep your knee as quiet as possible. It's not a big movement. It can't be a big movement. Okay, and let go. And now move the front of the foot to the right and back to the center. Same movement, but you go to the opposite direction. Keep that knee nice and grounded. Pivot on the heel. I didn't mean the knee. Keep the heel nice and grounded. Only moving the front of the foot, and now we're moving it to the right and back to where you started. Land the toes and the ball of the foot each time you come to the center and each time you go to the side. Touch down with every single toe. If you get cramps, extend the leg and extend the heel, push the heel away and see if that helps. Cramps are it's something that can happen often when you're doing this movement in the foot, in the feet. Okay, and now you can let go. Okay, now we're going to keep the front of the foot, so you're on the left foot, unless you have chosen a different route. Now keep the front of the foot grounded and lift the heel away from the floor as far as it goes up and bring it down. Lift the heel and bring it down, and do that many times. Keep the toes and the ball of the foot nice and grounded, just lifting the heel and lift it as high as it goes comfortably. This is a great exercise for improving balance, to improve balance in the pelvis, stability of the joints, Of course, it's good for the stability and balance in the feet. At the very end, make sure you stand and go through what we did at the very beginning, and you'll feel a big difference. So lift the heel and bring it down. Lift slowly, bring it down with control. Don't drop it. And it's very likely that you feel it's tiring, and that is because it's a movement we're not used to do. Alright, let go, and now lift the front of the foot. Keep the heel grounded, lift the toes, lift the ball, and then land the ball and land the toes. And carry on this way. First the toes, then the ball of the foot, then land the ball of the foot, then the toes. Make sure when you land the toes that you feel every single toe on the floor. So you need to make an extra effort to bring all the toes onto the floor. It's quite tricky, special for people that their toes don't touch the floor. They hover on the ground. So here is your opportunity to make an extra effort and feel your toes in contact with the floor. So, big problem if your toes don't touch the floor when you're walking, when you're standing, because then your body is not being supported fully with your feet. So the toes are designed to support the body and keep the balance and receive the weight of your body. If the toes are not doing that job, then you have balance issues, joint stability issues. It's like they carry on doing the movement of the foot, as I told. It's like the tripod of a camera. The tripod of the camera cannot hold your camera if the bottom of the tripod is closed. Okay, or if one side of the tripod is hovering in the air, then your camera cannot be supported. Same thing here. It's just an analogy to help you to understand how important the feet is when it comes to hold the body, to balance, to stability. Okay, let go. Very important to keep the toes mobile, like any other joint in the body. So as we get older, we forget about the toes, we forget about the feet, and then we have balance issues. And one of the reasons is because the feet is not doing their job. They can't be doing their job because they are frozen. The toes are frozen, they are on top of each other. We use tight socks, tight shoes, and therefore the feet cannot do their job. Right, what's the next thing? Next thing is, so we did the lift. So the next thing is to tilt the foot. So we are on the left foot. So tilt the foot and come towards the outer edge of your foot. So lift the side, the big toe side and the arch, and tilt the foot onto the outer edge side and bring it down. And do that many times. Remember, the movement is in your ankle joint, is not on your knee. The knee is quiet. The knee is not moving away from the other knee. The knee points up, stays up, and doesn't swing. Very difficult movement. Do what you can. So lift the big toe side and the arch and tilt as much as you can. Feel that movement in your ankle joint. Not easy at all. And it's more difficult when we tilt to the other side. Alright, let go and now tilt to the other side. Tilt towards the arch and lift the little toe and the outer edge of your foot. You can press the big toe on the floor as you tilt and lift the little toe. Not easy at all. Keep that knee as quiet as possible. It's not a big movement. It can't be a big movement because there is no room for your ankle joint to move. Do what you can. So we're tilting the foot, the left foot, into the inner edge, into the arch of the foot, and lifting the little toe side of the foot. Alright, let go. And now do one and the other at the same time, one at a time. Tilt to the outer edge of your foot, bring it down, and then tilt to the inner edge of the foot. Back, side to side, like if you're rocking a boat. Again, keep that knee as quiet as possible. Find that movement in your foot. It's a very interesting movement in the ankle joint. If you have balance issues or stability issues, it's worthwhile repeating this whole exercise a few times a week. Play with the movement in your feet. Do it lying on the floor like we're doing now. Now do it also sitting. Also you can do it standing. Explore. If you do that in these three ways, on the floor, on a chair and standing, and if you do it for say a couple of weeks, you'll see an amazing improvement when it comes to balance and stability in your joints. Alright, let go, extend your legs. Oh, this is a long class, so we're going to finish here. Just feel yourself against the floor. Notice now your legs, both sides of your body. Notice what feels different. Actually, bring your feet on the floor once again. And now keep your knees and feet hip distance apart and do that movement that we did at the very beginning with the hip joint. So move the knee, let's start with the right knee, move the right knee towards the left knee and then move the right knee away from the left knee. Do that a few times and just notice that movement in your hip joint. Is it different? So we're just moving the knee towards the left knee and then away from the left knee. So just feeling that movement in the hip joint, like we did at the very beginning. Keep the foot grounded. And then do the other side. How does it feel now? How does that movement in your hip joint feels now comparing to the very beginning? Alright. Lengthen the legs, take a moment to rest, stay here for as long as you want. Make sure that when you come up, make sure that you stand again and go through the same scan, somatic scan. That's what we call at the beginning, when we lie on the floor and feel ourselves, our contact, and when we stand and feel ourselves. That's called somatic scan. So at the beginning, lie on the floor for as long as you want to feel yourself, have a rest, and then stand again and just notice what feels different. Notice your uprightness, notice your feet and the weight of your body in each foot, just like you did at the beginning, and notice something changed. And then for walk, go for walk and notice the contact of the floor on the contact of the feet on the floor, and notice what changed just by doing these simple exercises. Simple but very effective. Alright, thank you so much for doing this with me. And I said I had news, I've got news. I'm going to go live 2 more times a week. And I don't know if you know, but you might know or not, that I am an avid knitter. I love my knitting, and I do lots of crochet as well, and I do lots of sewing. I love embroidery as well. So I've got this passion, and I spend lots of time doing it. Okay, all this knitting and crocheting. I'm doing a blanket, a big blanket now. And if you're interested in following my life, my other life with knitting and my crafts, then have a look at my other YouTube channel, which is called Pretty Home Handmade. Okay, so I'm going to go live twice a week on top of this, and those lives are for people like me or like us. Maybe you are a knitter as well. For people that knit, or people that have handmade crafts as a hobby or as a profession. Now, me as an avid knitter and crocheter and the sewing and all of that, I know all the pains and tension we get in the upper body, the neck, the shoulders, the wrists, the hand, the fingers. So I know, because I do that not only as a hobby but as well as a small business. And I know that a lot of people suffer, that knitters and crocheters and all these handmade craft creators suffer a great deal of pain and discomfort in the body. So twice a week I'm going live with the exercises that I do. So because I'm a yoga and a Feldenkrais teacher, I've got the tools to help myself, so I can carry on with my passion, doing my crafts without pain. Okay, so I don't suffer a great deal of tension and discomfort, because I know the exercises that can help me and do help me. And I'm going to share that with everyone that is interested. So if you know, if you're yourself, or if you know anyone that is a knitter or a crocheter and needs help when it comes to releasing pain and stress and strain, the repetitive strain injuries that we get from doing this, so let them know. There is a video here on my YouTube channel where I explain that, my new lives twice a week. Okay, so that is on top of the Feldenkrais for courage. I'll carry on with these ones and then I'll add two more for the knitters. Okay, so thank you so much and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye, lots of love and lots of courage.